Sometimes in life, you got to do things you don't want to do. Things that you'd rather not. You're like, miss me with that. But some of these things are necessary. Sometimes you got to just stand up, face it head on in order to move forward, to take the next step. I've been playing Plants vs. Zombies Beautiful Town, and I've been really enjoying this so far. But I'm going nowhere. I'm treading water in this game. I'm treading water in this game because we got all of these new plants, and I don't know what any of them do. And I'm not gonna go anywhere until I do know what they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm here today, armed with one cup of tea, and it pains me to say it, it's time to study. I cannot go on with this game until I've read up on all these new plants. So join me. Got the reading glasses on today. This is going to be a reading video, but stick around. You might find this interesting. We're going to discuss it as we go. And by the end of this video, I will have left no stone unturned. Roll the intro. We're going to go down this whole list of plants, and any plant on here that I'm not already familiar with, time to learn. See Exhibit A, the Punish Shroom. When a mushroom on his lane is destroyed, shoots a projectile to attack a zombie on the lane, dealing high physical explosion damage, sleeps during the day. So there's a lot of new mushroom plants here. They're all going to follow the kind of PvZ1 theme where you can use them during the day, but I think there's another plant that you have to use. Is it the coffee bean? Yes, the coffee bean. If you want to use these plants during the day, you have to have the coffee bean with it, which is kind of peak. Bit too tedious for my liking. Another thing, just before I continue, that I'm actually starting to pick up on. There are some things here that I've never seen before. There's a lot of stuff here that I'm noticing is from heroes. I'm seeing like things like the Soul Patch Pine Clone. I swear I saw Bananasaurus Rex in here somewhere as well. And now I can't find it. Anyway, Shroom of Thunder attacks a single zombie in a 3x3 area around him, dealing huge lightning elemental damage. Sleeps during the day. So that seems kind of like electricity, but not really. Only attacks a single zombie, but does a lot more damage, perhaps. I need to, as we're going through this, I need to note the different types of damage as well. Like we had explosion damage, elemental damage, there's piercing damage, cutting damage, magic damage, I think was another one. There's so much to... You see why I'm doing this video. Smush Shroom launches a wave of rapid attacks on all zombies on the tile in front of him, dealing physical blunt damage. Has a long cooldown between each wave of attacks, stuns and deals extra damage to small-sized zombies, sleeps during the day. Interesting. Sounds like my kind of plant. Goop Shroom, there's a name that I never like hearing. Shoots mid-range goop to penetrate all zombies within range on his lane, dealing poison elemental damage. The goop also slightly reduces movement speed, sleeps during the day. Here's a jazzy looking one. King Lactarius. After planting, summons Lactarius guards in the adjacent tiles and boosts the attack power of all mushroom plants by 30%. Sleeps and loses his ability during the day. So we've got a bit of a night out here. That sounds kind of cracked. Definitely when we start getting into nighttime levels, we're going to try some of this stuff out. Lactarius guard. Must be planted within the 3x3 area surrounding King Lactarius. Shoots short-range projectiles to attack on his lane, dealing poison elemental damage. Can also perform melee, so I stopped getting told off in the comments. Can also perform melee attacks that deal physical piercing damage. Has resistance to cutting damage and piercing damage. Poison Mushroom. Explodes immediately after planting, dealing a certain amount of poison elemental damage to all zombies in a 3x3 area. Targets will also be poisoned for a while, greatly reducing their poison damage resistance and slightly reducing their movement speed. Sleeps during the day. So we're working with a lot of poison elemental stuff here. Spiky Shooter we've been using, but we'll go over him again anyway. Shoots mid-range thorns that can penetrate multiple zombies on his lane, dealing physical piercing damage. I think this guy actually has an upgraded version as well later on. Fern Stand, relying on the shield to block zombies' advance. The shield has high HP, piercing damage, and cutting damage resistance, and can withstand damage from the front. Yeah, so we started playing around with this thing a little bit, but yeah, we didn't get to do much with it. So this is effectively a Johnny, but has added resistance against certain types of damage. So piercing and cutting damage specifically, See, now that's interesting. Piercing damage and cutting damage resistance. Are you telling me the zombies also use these different types of damage? So, like, I've got to watch my matchups as well. Bud Venturer increases the speed and attack power of the melee plant in front. Can reduce Wildflower's special cooldown time. So that has direct synergy with another plant, Wildflower. We haven't got to that just yet. I did try and play around with this thing a little bit. Don't really feel like I got to see what it can do. I didn't really get to compare what the Triceratops was like with and without it, so. The Podfather. Pea plants in the 3x3 area around him are granted HP and attack boost. We tried this. I like this guy. He's pretty good. Orchade, another one we use. Increases the attack speed of all plants in the 3x3 area. That sounds like it's just... You could use that with anything. This thing, basically, this is like if Incineroar was a plant. It can go in any team. Dreamland Cotton. Restores HP for the plant below and increases its physical damage resistance for a short time. Restores HP for the plant below. Now that is interesting. Oh, because it's a cloud and it floats above the... Yeah, now I get it. We've solved the mystery. Pea Patch. Slightly increases the attack speed of the pea plant on top of her. Got that. Bamboo Bombard. Fires powerful long-range bamboo shots to attack zombies on his lane, dealing extra damage to armor. So I presume that's going to be like bucket heads. Deals high physical explosion damage, but has a long cooldown time. And then my favorite, XYZ Dragon Cannon. I love this thing. Fires powerful long-range dragon fruits to attack zombies on his lane, dealing high fire explosion damage, as well as fire elemental splash damage to all zombies in a small area. Has a long cooldown time. My go. Love this thing. Now, I talked about this in a short. I don't think this is from another game, but I know Heroes did have a dragon fruit plant of some kind. It wasn't this. It wasn't the dragon cannon, but there was some sort of dragon fruit plant in that game, I'm pretty sure. And I'm telling you what, if this thing is my favorite plant, this thing is my second favorite. Mango Queen Flower. Uses close range shotguns to attack a single target in front and 2 additional nearby targets, dealing physical piercing damage. Closer the zombie is to her, higher the damage. Portion of the damage dealt will ignore armor. I mean, we tried her out, and she can take a newspaper all by herself. And she has piercing. And she can ignore armor. We like the Mango Queen Flower. Hollow Wreath. All ground plants on its tile enter a holographic state and will not be attacked. Is that right? That is a very, very interesting bit of kit. We could find a use for that, definitely, I think. Blood Wreath. Greatly increases the speed of ground plants on his tile, but they will lose a percentage of HP per second. Life Orb, basically. Triceratops. Oh, brace yourself, this is a long one. Preparation sip. Has melee damage resistance. In offensive state, performs melee attacks that deal physical piercing damage and apply a disability effect to biological targets. Disability effect slightly reduces movement speed, piercing damage resistance, and cutting damage resistance. Click to switch to defensive state, which reduces the damage taken by 25% and becomes immune to instant kills. For each Triceratops in the same column, grants self physical damage resistance. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm doing this. I've used this thing multiple times, and I didn't know half of this shit. This thing sounds insane. It has multiple modes that I can switch between by clicking it. I actually started to have multiple ones in the same column. Like, that actually does something. This is a very, and this only costs 125. It's a very versatile plant. Definitely gonna have to play around a bit more with this thing. I'm not even gonna try and say it. The mean looking one. Forms long range attacks to the zombies on his lane, dealing physical piercing damage and reducing the piercing damage resistance of biological targets. Can also attack all zombies one tile behind. He was very good at taking out balloon zombies, just wasn't particularly good at anything else. Cyber Superior. Performs melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage and poison elemental damage at the same time. When fatally injured, retreats to the tile behind and restores all HP. Plant multiple superiors on top of each other to add up to 3 heads. Unable to retreat after being fatally injured, loses a head and restores all HP. Okay, so there's multiple ways that you can keep it alive. But then again, I feel like having all 3 heads and being able to retreat is probably the best play. I feel like you would have to just make a habit of putting this thing way up the front, right at the very, very front. Give it like a handful of spaces to work with. Supermelon Black Hole. After planting, creates a black hole.
Cheers, Jeff.
Zombies on a single tile will be drawn in and destroyed. Sounds like Grimrose. Only costs 100? Maybe decent as an instant. It just depends on like how far does that go. Can I suck Gargantuas into this thing? Or is there a limit on how strong the zombie can be that I suck into it? I just want to know who I can suck. Tiger Grass, looking very different from PvZ2. Performs melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage to an enemy in a 1x3 area. Okay, so that's 1 in front, 3... Okay. Oh, but hang on, then it says in a 3x3 area around him. So wait, can he... Hold on, let me get this right. Kind of sounds like they're saying he can attack across 3 tiles, but he could do it like in front or above or below or behind. Sounds good if I'm reading that right. If the number of female plants is greater than that of the male plants, his attack speed will be greatly increased. Okay, so basically the more women there are, the hornier he gets. Velociradish Hatchling. Performs melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage. Each Velociradish in a 3x3 area grants self 25% more attack power. Velociradish Hunter forms melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage. Each Velociradish on the lawn grants itself 25% more attack power. And each Velociradish Hatchling on the lawn reduces his sun cost by 10. Interesting. So they would pair together very well. Aubergine Offering. Plant an animal plant on top of him to increase that plant's HP. After planting, if there exists a 3x3 area around the planting location filled with only aubergine offerings and plants affected by aubergine offerings, sacrifice all plants in the area and summon the aubergine. God, that was a lot to take in. At Pommy Gamer. Fires long-range sound waves with comments of a true gamer to attack zombies on his lane, dealing sonic elemental damage. Targets will have increased attack speed and movement speed. So he buffs the zombies when he hits them. Right. Disapple. Zombies that eat her cannot attack. Simple, but solid. Sorcerose. Cast long-range magic projectiles at zombies on her lane, dealing magic elemental damage. Can sometimes cast larger magic projectiles. Been using her quite a bit, liking her. She's going to pair very well with this. Citrus Magus. Cast long-range magic projectiles at zombies on his lane, dealing magic elemental damage and decreasing the target's resistance to magic damage. That's why I use these two together. Lumos Lotus. Fires long-range magic projectiles at zombies on his lane, dealing magic elemental damage. Needs charging before attacking and can be planted in water. Sounds kind of like Citron. This I also used in the last episode. The Runic Leaflet. Increase the attack power of all magic plants by 20% of their original attack power, and it stacks. That's why I brought it. That's why my roses were popping off. Sunflower Knight. Performs melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage. Has physical damage and melee damage resistance. In a 3x3 area, with the tile behind her is the center. For each sunflower plant here, grant sunflower plants here 25% more attack power and 20% more resistance to all damage types. That sounds broken as fuck. Wow. I mean, it depends how many more offensive sunflowers we have. Can I just say, about time as well? Like, you played any of the Garden Warfare games, you know damn well Sunflower can go on a madness if she wants to. So it's about time we've seen some offensive sunflowers. Princess Celeria. Grants all melee plants a slight attack bonus at intervals, grants all knight units bonus resistance to all damage types, and can stack with multiple Princess Celerias on the lawn up to 3 times. Damn. Pea Patrol. Shoots large-sized peas at zombies on his lane, dealing physical blunt damage. Can also perform melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage. Has piercing damage and melee damage resistance. Halves all physical damage taken from the front. Has sun cost reduced by 150 and recharge time halved when the number of pea plants on the lawn is not less than 10. See, this is where it gets kind of interesting, because that, obviously, you want to use that with other pea shooters, but it would also pair well with Princess Celeria. So it's interesting the synergy that you can get going with these. Mecha Sunflower. Gives additional sun, but explodes on death, dealing damage to all plants in a 3x3 area. It will also self-destruct after producing sun for some time. Has lower sun production during the day. That doesn't sound very good. I'm not sure I'm going to be in a hurry to use that. Mecha Pea Shooter. Shoots long-range peas to attack zombies on its lane, dealing physical explosion damage. Peas affected with fire will deal fire explosion damage to the target and all zombies in a small area around it. Explodes upon death, dealing damage to plants in a 3x3 area. Yeah, I'm not liking the sound of this mechanical stuff so far. Mecha Cocoa Palm. Block zombies from advancing and will not be damaged by mecha plants. When attacked by other plants, generate a coconut. When a portion of its HP is lost, detonate a coconut, dealing physical explosion damage to plants and zombies in a 3x3 area. Upon death, detonate all coconuts. Mecha plants can be planted on it to detonate a coconut and generate a new coconut. Explodes upon death. dealing damage to plants in a 3x3 area. Still not really selling it to me. Sounds kind of like I'm just going to be blowing up my own shit. Magnet Bomberry immediately explodes after planting, drawing in metallic zombies or zombies with metal armor in a 3x3 area to his tile, stopping all actions of the targets during the drawing process. That sounds quite good. That's like Magnet Shroom, but with a fuse. We've got a Kamikaze Magnet Shroom. Durian Pulp. Lobs a long-range Durian to attack zombies on his lane, dealing physical blunt damage to the zombies it hits. Durian also applies poison to all zombies in an area, dealing damage over time. Not bad. Oily Lichen. Zombies stepping on it will be in an oily state, slightly reducing their movement speed and reducing their fire damage and explosion damage resistance. Devil Johnny. Relying on his thick shell to block the zombies' advance, has very high HP. Zombies that deal melee damage to him will be cursed, which greatly reduces their physical resistance. I like the look of this one. Cosmic Flower. Occasionally provides 1 point of cosmic energy to the plant in front of her, if it can receive cosmic energy. Can also receive cosmic energy and store up to 1 point of cosmic energy. What the fuck is cosmic energy? Cosmic Apple Saucer. Shoots long-range projectiles to attack zombies on his lane, dealing energy elemental damage. Energy? Oh, Jesus Christ. Can consume 1 point of cosmic energy to shoot a high-damage projectile that can penetrate multiple zombies. Pause. Can store 3 points of cosmic energy. Okay. Now I'm starting to paint the picture. Starting to see a theme forming here. Cosmic Johnny. Blocks zombies from advancing and is immune to instant kills when having cosmic energy. Every time he takes a certain amount of damage, can consume 1 point of cosmic energy to ignore this damage, as well as any incoming damage for a short time. Can store 3 points of cosmic energy. Cosmic Bean. Must be planted on a plant that can receive cosmic energy and provides it with 3 points of cosmic energy. Feeling like I want to try out this cosmic energy thing now. Cosmic Melon. Lobs melons that deal high damage to a single tile, dealing energy blunt damage. Hang on, wait, before I continue reading, I'm going to make a bold prediction. It can use a point of cosmic energy to deal splash damage. Must consume 1 point of cosmic energy for each melon. I was way off. Nope. Cosmic Gourd. Provides stored cosmic energy to other plants that can receive cosmic energy in a 3x3 area. Can store 12 points of cosmic energy. Oh, it's all getting a bit complicated now. Cosmic Cobnut Cannon. Click on him to consume all stored cosmic energy and fire a cosmic cobnut, dealing energy explosion damage. The more cosmic energy consumed, the more powerful the cobnut will be. Can store 5 points. Pine Clone. When spawned, all ground plants in a 3x3 area will be transformed into new pine clones. They fire lasers to attack zombies in their lanes, dealing energy elemental damage. So yeah, it even works the same way it does in Heroes. I specifically remember using this thing. Corn Dog. Performs melee attacks, dealing physical cutting damage. Can jump 1 lane above or below and attack zombies on that lane. Okay, nice. We've got plants that can move about. Otaku Radish. After planting, gives 100 sun and gives half the sun at night. Cannot be shoveled. Zombies that eat him will be greatly boosted. That sounds terrible. I mean, I feel like that could be situational. I feel like you could use that on like an imp, and it probably wouldn't be so bad. Rescue Radish. Attacks a single zombie at close range, dealing energy elemental damage. Can be planted on any ground plant, which will remove that plant and fully recharge its seed packet. Ghost Pepper! Uses souls to attack all zombies in front and behind her, dealing shadow elemental damage. Collects more souls from defeated biological units and will disappear when she runs out of souls. Okay. So slightly different to how she works in PvZ2, I think. It's good to see you again. Misty Blue. Shoots icy thorns to attack zombies on her lane, dealing physical piercing damage. Thorn will penetrate chilled enemies and chill the enemies it hits. When Thorn defeats a chilled enemy, it will produce a frost blast, freezing enemies in a 3x3 area. Chills all units in a 3x3 area around her. And all the chilled units take 50% additional damage as long as she exists on the lawn. That sounds insane. Dandelion. Attacks zombies in a 3x3 area around her, dealing physical explosion damage and stunning the damage targets for a short time. Inflamed Grass. Sprays close-range flames to attack zombies in front and behind him, dealing fire elemental damage. Crown Inferno. Click and drag to the desired position to cast a firestorm that slowly moves forward, attacking zombies in a 3x3 area. Takes a long time to cool down after each use. Non-fire units on a tile will be continuously damaged. Deals fire elemental damage. Wildflower. Performs melee attacks to zombies, dealing physical blunt damage. Will occasionally use special attacks. This is the one that pairs with Bud Venturer. It said something like it will reduce the cooldown of that special attack. Ancient Banana. Cannot be used until 20 zombies have been defeated with bite attacks. This seed packet will then be replaced with Bananasaurus Rex. Can only be up to 2 Bananasaurus Rexes on the lawn. I was wondering why I couldn't find him. That'll be why. He's concealed within this ancient banana. Seedling. After a period of time, transforms into a random non-upgrade ground plant from your deck. Poison Oak. Sip of tea first. Sprays poisonous mist that penetrates all zombies within range on his lane, poisoning all hit targets. Poison slightly reduces movement speed, attack power, and poison damage resistance, and deals a small amount of damage over time. Score Poison Grass. Performs melee or long-range penetrating attacks to zombies on her lane, dealing physical piercing damage. Applies special poison to all damaged enemies. Enemies with the special poison explode when they die, damaging other enemies in a 3x3. Oh, wow, okay. That sounds alright. Soul Patch. This is another Heroes one. Uses a regenerative shield to protect himself and attacks the largest sized enemy in range, dealing physical blunt damage. Click to switch to defensive state, in which he uses the shield to take damage in place of all friendly ground plants on his lane. Salura provides bonuses for other plants in a 5x5 area. Male plants gain 25% damage resistance. Female plants gain 25% damage bonus. Flowers gain 25% speed bonus. And then lastly, we got the upgrades. Spellweed attacks all ground zombies that step on him, dealing physical piercing damage. After attacking for some time, enters a bewitched state and greatly increases his attack speed. Upon death, enters a dormant state and respawns after some time. Must be planted on spikeweed. A spikeweed that fucking regenerates itself, you say, and can buff itself. Thorny Terror. Quickly shoots close-range thorn projectiles from his lane. These thorns can penetrate multiple zombies and can scatter to other lanes, dealing physical piercing damage. Must be planted on Spiky Shooter. Yep, I thought so. I knew he had an upgrade. Magic Glow Root. Fires powerful magic balls. I'll stop. Sorry, all this balls, penetration. I'm a child. Fires powerful magic. Come on, Cam! It's not that funny. Fires powerful magic. That's it. I've got the giggles now. That is it. That is it. It's not even funny. Fires powerful magic balls to attack zombies on her lane, dealing magic elemental damage. Doubles all calculated damage resistance. Must be planted where there are at least 5 magic plants in the surrounding 3x3 area. Okay, so this is interesting. This one's not an upgrade per se, but has like a prerequisite to put it down. It's like a special summon. Peace Sniper. Snipes the zombie with the current highest HP on the lawn and deals more damage to unarmored biological targets. Deals physical piercing damage. Must be planted on a non-upgrade ground pea plant. Okay. Gatling Pea. Quickly shoots a barrage of long-range peas to attack zombies on the lane. Must be planted on Repeater. That's getting paired with Torchwood. Demon Melon. Lobs a long-range Demon Melon to attack zombies on his lane, dealing physical blunt damage to all zombies in an area, and applying a demonic curse on all hit targets. Cursed zombies have greatly reduced physical resistance. Must be planted on Melon Pole. Mecha Gatling Pea. Quickly shoots a barrage of long-range peas to attack zombies on its lane, dealing physical explosion damage. Each attack has a small chance of failure. Explodes upon death, dealing damage to plants in 3x3 area. Must be planted on Mecha Pea Shooter, which we've already established I'm never going to use. And last but not least, the Melon Mortar. Attacks zombies on his lane and adjacent lanes by firing a large amount of projectiles to bombard the 3x3 area around the target. Must be planted on a lobber plant and inherits the projectile of that lobber plant. And I think we're up to date. I have spent best part of the last hour sitting here reading this, but I'm confident that with my newly acquired knowledge, we can now tackle this game properly.